my video. I'm Vinudhi Wahalathanthri and I'm here with my 22nd question set from the DBMS question series. So in this video, we are going to answer the questions regarding the database we created in my 16th question set. So we developed a database called Exam Marks DB in my previous video. So now we are going to answer the questions regarding the database. So now we are going to answer these questions using queries such as insert queries, update queries, search queries, join queries, subqueries, likewise. Okay, so I'll be using my SQL software to type these queries. Let's see what our first question is. Find the details of the students who participated in the singular subject in the examination held on 2020 March 15th. Okay, so now over here they have told us to find the details of the students who have participated in the singular subject examination held on this date. Okay, so when we consider this question, we can say that this is a select query. So now I'm going to type this query in my SQL software. So before that, let me show you all the data I have added in my exam marks DB database. So this is my class table, exam term table, student exam mark table, and this is the subject table. So let's begin to type the query. So I'll begin by giving select all from exam marks DB. I'm first going to give the database name, and next I'm going to give the table name as student exam mark records, and I'll execute it. So this will be the output for this query. So now let's begin to add all the details we need for this query. So first, we'll select all from the student exam mark record table, and then we'll inner join the tables we need. So we need the student, class student table, the class table, subject, and the exam term table likewise. So this is how I'm going to inner join them. So using inner join, I'm going to first inner join the student table. So this student table is foreign keyed in the student exam mark record table as student index number. So this student index number in the student exam mark record table is equal to the index number in the student table. So likewise, I'm going to inner join the exam term table as well. So it's also there in the student exam mark record table. Okay, so it's also equal to the exam term ID in the exam term table. So likewise, I'm going to inner join the subject table, the class table in this method. So likewise, I have inner join the class, subject, exam term, and the student table. So let's begin to filter. So I'll filter this using a where condition. So I'm going to give select all from student exam mark record, inner join these tables, and we need to filter this using the where condition giving the exam date. So the exam date is in the exam term table, and I'm going to insert this date likewise, and the subject is singular literature. Subject, that subject name is equal to singular literature, singular language and literature. Okay, so now let's remove this star. So this is select all from. So when I remove this star, I can insert the data that I want. That means we can insert the columns we want, the rows we want. That means the student index number. So we don't need all the details. We just need specific columns. So I'll only take the student index number, the first name of the student, first name, and the last name, last name, gender, contact number, and the class ID and the mark. Okay, so these are the details we need. So now let's execute this query. Okay, so these are the students who have participated for the Sinhala Language and Literature examination in this date. So this is the answer for the first question. So this is the query we wrote for that question. So let's move on to our next question. Our next question is Sandun Vijayratnam. Find out the marks of the examination in which the student appeared on 2020, 15th of March. Now we have to search the date of the examination, the term, the number of admissions, and the name of the subject. Okay, so now for our second question, I'm going to open a new query and begin to type a select query. So for this, I'm going to need the student's index number, the student's first name, the student's last name, and the student's gender, and the student's contact number, and the student's class name. So for this, I'm going to take the class name, and then I will take the exam term. So I will take it from the exam term table, term name, and then I will take the subject, subject name, and then I'll take the mark of the student, exam mark record, mark. Okay, so I'm going to select all of these from the student exam mark record table. So from exam marks db dot student exam mark record table. Okay, so now I'm going to inner join the tables we need. So likewise, I'm going to inner join the student, class, exam tab, and subject table to this query. So likewise, I have inner joined the tables we need. So now I'll filter this using a where condition. Okay, so we have to filter the exam date and the student's first name and last name. So first I'll take the exam term.date. So the term date given is 2020, March 15. And we have to filter the student's name. So the student's first name is equals to Sandun, and the student's last name is equals to Vijayratnam. Okay. So now we have finished filtering it. I'll enter our semicolon and let's execute this. Okay, so this is the answer for the second question. So they have asked Sandun Vijayratnam, find out the marks of the examinations in which the student appeared on 2020, 3rd, 15th. Okay, so he has appeared in these examinations, the mathematics, Sinhala, and science on this first term. So these are the marks obtained by him, and these are the details of him. So this is the answer for the second question. Let's move on to our next question. Find the name, subject, marks, term of the examination, date of the examination of the students who obtained marks between 40 and 70 in the subject of mathematics held on 2020 on the 10th of the 7th month. Okay, so for this, Also, I'm going to use a select query. Okay, so for this, I'm going to first begin by giving select all from students. Sorry, we have to give the database name as exammarksdb.students. Then mark record, and I'll execute this. Okay, so now we have to take the student's first name first. So first we'll take the student's first name and the student's last name and the student's, oh yeah, that's all we need from the student. And next we need the exam term name. So first I'll take exam term dot term name, and next I'll take the exam date. And next I'll take the mark of the student. So I'm going to take it from the student exam mark record table. Okay, so now those are the details we need from our student exam mark record table. So next I'm going to energize the tables we need to filter this query. Now I have energized the tables we need to get the results of this query. So now I'll begin to filter it using a where condition. So first I'll give the exam term. Term.date. So this date is in 2020 on the 7th month, 10th date. And we have to get the subject name. So the subject name is equals to mathematics. Okay, so now we have to do something new over here. So now we are going to look a value between 2 marks. So now they have told to check the students who have obtained between 40 and 70. So now we are going to use a new word over here. We are going to use the word called between. The word between is used to find the value of between 2 values. So now I will give again an and I'll give the marks. Student exam mark record dot marks, and then I'll give the word between, and we'll give the values 40 and 70. Okay, so this is the query. Let's execute it and see. Okay, so now this is the answer for our third question. So this is how we can use the word between in this query. So let's move on to our next question. For the last question, who is the highest scoring student in the first term out of all the subjects? So this question looks really simple, but there's a lot of queries to give for it. But don't worry, because that's the easiest way. So who is the highest scoring student? So now I'm going to use a new query type for this and begin by giving a select query. So I'll give select all from exam marks DB dot student exam mark record table. Okay, execute it. So now we need the student's index number and the student's first name. So likewise, I'm going to take the details of the students. So likewise, I have taken the student's index number, the first name, and next I'm going to take the student's last name as well. Last name, and then I'll take the student's mark. Okay, so now these are the details we need from the student exam mark record table. So next, I'm going to energize the tables we need to run this query. So for this, I'm going to take the student table, the class table, the exam table, and the subject table. So I'll copy it from one of our previous queries, so it's way more easier. So now we have energized the student, exam term, the subject, and the class table. So let's begin to filter this. So we'll be using some subqueries as well for this. So using the where condition, I will filter it where student exam mark record dot marks, and then I'll begin to give our subquery inside these brackets. So I'm going to type our subquery like select max. So we need the highest score, so we'll type max. Student exam mark record marks. Marks from student exam mark record table. And next, I'm going to give a where condition where the student exam mark record dot exam term ID, and then I'm again going to type a subquery over here. So I'm going to give select exam term dot term ID from exam term where exam term dot term name is equal to first term. Okay, so I'll give it as first term. Okay, so this is the query. Let's execute it and see what happens. Okay, so it's Amanda Moses who has been scoring a lot of marks for the first term. So she has scored 100 marks. So this is a bit extra. So let's check the subject as well. The subject, she scored 100. Give the subject name as well. Yes, she has scored 100 for the Sinhala language. So this won't be necessary for this question. So this is all we need. Okay, so that's all for this question set. So this is my first query. This is the second, third, and fourth. So that's all for question set 22. So I hope you understood what I explained. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be back with a new video. So until then, have a nice day and bye.